Samyutta Nikaya, Sutta number 2. Yes. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Samyutta Nikaya Sutta number 2. Nimokka Sutta. Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation, emancipation. I am going to read first all the sutta because it's very short, and then we can discuss about it. At Savatthi, then when the night had advanced, a certain devata of stunning beauty, illuminating the entire Jetas grove, approached the Blessed One. Having approached, he paid homage to the Blessed One, stood to one side, and said to him, "Do you know, dear sir, emancipation, release, seclusion for beings?" "I know, friends, emancipation, release, seclusion for beings. But in what way, dear sir, do you know emancipation, release, seclusion for beings?" The Blessed One, "By the utter destruction of delight in existence, by the extinction of perception and consciousness, by the cessation and appeasement of feelings, it's thus, friend, that I know for beings emancipation, release, seclusion." That's the sutta, very small one. In Pali, it's called Nimokka Sutta. Nimokka Sutta. There are 3 important words used here by this deity. Those words are Jana Sinotang Marisa Sattanang Nimokkang Pamokkang Vivekang. These 3 words. As usual, this deity also came in the night time. It says, when the night had advanced, because that's the time for the deities to come and see the Buddha. In this Samyutta Nikaya, in this chapter, Devata Samyutta, most of the discourses are about the meetings, the deities with the Buddha. So you can see again and again deities approach to the Buddha and have discussions. So that also took place at the Jetavana, Anathapindika's that temple, that Arama. As usual, that deity also approached the Buddha and sat by the side and paid homage to the Buddha and asked this question. Nimokkang Pamokkang Vivekang. Do you know, dear sir, emancipation, release and seclusion? Those are the 3 English words used by Bhikkhu Bodhi. First one, Nimokkang, emancipation. This is explained in the commentary as the path. Nimokka as the path. Path for what? Path for the Nibbana, or realization, the Four Noble Truths. What's that path? Path to Nibbana. That path, the Noble Eightfold Path itself. Ayameva Aryo Atthangiko Maggo. This Noble Eightfold Path itself is the path or middle path. And Pamokkang means the fruit. And the attainment of that goal. And Vimokkang, and here it's translated as release. That's the direct translation of the word. And Vimokkang, seclusion, English word. That's the, according to the commentary, it's like resting or peace. You practice the path, you go through the path, and you attain the goal, then you are going to rest or relax. That relaxation. Actually, with all these three words, the Nibbana, emancipation, is explained in other words. Here it says, do you know, dear sir, emancipation, release, seclusion for beings. Though it's translated as thus, and the Pali it says, Janasi no tvang marisa sattanang nimokkang pamokkang vivekanti. It actually says, it doesn't directly says, do you know? It says something like, you know, emancipation, release, seclusion for beings, isn't it? In that way. That deity also knows, that the Buddha knows. In that way, the question is placed there and right according to the Pali translation. So the Buddha says, Janami kvahang auso sattanang nimokkang pamokkang vivekanti. I know, friend, emancipation, release, seclusion for beings. Janami kvahang. Kvahang means ko ahang. That means to emphasize. For sure, definitely, I know of the beings, emancipation, release, and seclusion. The Buddha, when he got enlightened, he knew all those things. The path to get enlightened, he himself realized not only that, he realized even the way that anyone else, if anyone else want to get release from this bondage of samsara or attain Nibbana, he knew the path. And he attained. And also he knew even for the others also could attain the same goal by practicing it. And according to this way of practicing, the Buddha attained enlightenment, and the Buddha knew that everyone else could attain the enlightenment. Then this deity asked, But in what way, dear sir, do you know emancipation, release, recluse for beings? Yatha katham panatang marisa janasi sattanang nimokkhaṃ pamokkhaṃ vivekanti. And then the Buddha explains, and in Pali, Nandi bhava parikkaya sanya viññāna sankhya vedanānaṃ nirodha upasama evaṃ kvahaṃ āvuso jānāmi sattānaṃ nimokkhaṃ pamokkhaṃ vivekanti. And this is the way. Nandi bhava parikkaya, by the utter destruction of delight in existence. Bhava parikkaya. Bhava means existence. Existence in the samsara. Nandi means delight or enjoyment. We like to be in the samsara. Samsara, when we talk, usually we think about our previous lives and future lives. I mean, previous births and future births. But usually we forget about this very moment. At this very life, in this very life, at this very moment also, we are in samsara. So, we try to delight in it. And so, through realization, we can reduce that delight. When you really realize, you do not delight anymore on this samsara. So first we have to understand the real nature of the samsara. In many places it's explained. When you really understand the danger of the samsara, then you are going to practice according to the Dhamma and realize the Nibbana. So, because we do not have complete or real knowledge about the nature of the samsara, we try to delight in it. We try to enjoy the samsara. As long as we try to enjoy the samsara or senses or this body and mind, so far we are not ready to get rid of the suffering, because we do not do not understand the suffering. We take the suffering as an enjoyment. The suffering itself is an enjoyment for us. So we keep on enjoying, and because of that we are not attaining the Nibbana. So the Buddha says, Nandi bhava parikkaya. Before you stop existence in the samsara, you have to stop, get rid of delight in it. So, by the utter destruction of delight in existence, Nandi bhava parikkaya, sanya viññāna sankhya, and by the extinction of perception and consciousness. Sanya and viññāna. Sanya, perception, and viññāna, consciousness. Sankhya means by going to the end, or by getting rid of perception and consciousness. How many consciousnesses are there? 6. What are they? Eye consciousness, Chakku Vijnana, Sota Vijnana, ear consciousness, Ghana Vijnana, nose consciousness, Jiva Vijnana, tongue consciousness, and Kaya Vijnana, body consciousness, yes, and Mano Vijnana, mind consciousness. And these are the doors that we get messages, ideas, thoughts. So in the Dhamma, those thoughts are named according to the door that we receive it. If we get any thought through our touch, it's called Kaya Vijnana, or body consciousness, in that way. If it's through our nose, if we smell something and get a thought, make a thought, then it's going to be nose consciousness in that way. So if you can see that consciousness just as a consciousness and stop producing many thoughts, then those senses are under our control. Otherwise, they are going to produce more and more thoughts. Depending upon one thought, there's going to be many other thoughts, because there is another consciousness called Mano Vijnana. Mano Vijnana means mind consciousness. Being on those thoughts, our mind produces many other thoughts. So it's going to be full of thoughts, like many waves in the ocean. So if we can control these senses, then all those waves of thoughts are under our control, so that the mind get more relaxed and still. And through that type of, when your mind is under your control in that way, it's going to be more serene, more calm, and one can even see. In the Anguttara Nikaya, it explains very nicely, like the Buddha says, this mind is very calm and brightful by the nature. Naturally, it's so brightful, so peace, so calm, and so pure. But it gets disturbed by the outside thoughts, external thoughts. The Buddha says he gets an example like a water pool, which is very still, calm, and serene. And from the outside things, it would be disturbed. When a person goes to that type of still water pool, and that person could see penetrating all the things in the water, maybe the fish or any other rock or anything. The same way, when our mind is not disturbed by the thoughts which comes from the outside through the senses, if it's not going to be disturbed, then you can see by yourself penetrating within yourself. And that's the moment that you can really practice vipassana or insight meditation, because your mind is calm and still and nice. So in that way, making your perceptions and consciousness under your control. Vedananang nirodha upasama, by the cessation of appeasement of feelings. Vedana. There are three types of vedanas, so feelings. Sukha vedana, dukkha vedana, adukha masuka vedana. Sukha vedana, comfortable feelings. Dukkha vedana, how do you translate? Unpleasant. Yes, unpleasant or uncomfortable feelings. And adukha masuka, neither pleasurable nor non-pleasurable, or not comfortable, not even not comfortable. Comfortable, neither comfortable nor non-comfortable. That type of neutral. Yes, neutral feelings. So vedananang upasama, by cessation, yes, cessation of all those feelings. Evam kvahang also janami. In this way, I know emancipation, release, and seclusion. So this is, in very short, this is the path for realization of Nibbana. According to that deity's question, the Buddha explained in this way. Actually, the commentary says these deities are from a certain Brahma world. So those Brahma beings have a certain type of understanding, certain type of higher knowledge about concentration and many other things that we do not experience. They were experiencing. So for their knowledge, because they can understand in this way, the Buddha, according to the person, explained this sutta to realize the Nibbana. Is there anything else to discuss on this?
How do you control your thoughts?
How to control?
When you know that when you have some like when you see something, you think that if you have to let you want to own it. But in that case, how do we control our thoughts?
You mean how to control our emotions? Do you have any idea?
I practice constantly because I drive the bus, so I'm by myself. And I've actually gotten to a point during the day, which I can't hold on to, but I know the feeling. As I get identified with the feeling of, I don't want to be here at the moment, another couple hours, I'm tired, I want to do something else. I realized someday that I was identifying myself as a bus driver, as the role I was playing. It wasn't me, it was the bus driver I was playing. So I took myself and said, that's not me, that's the conditioning of what I built myself up to be. I'm a bus driver right now. So I took the thought away of me being a bus driver, and I dropped the role, and I just relaxed in the moment. And it was all clear, it was all clarity. So I've been doing that the past couple of days, trying not to identify with the conditioning that I've accepted and brought to myself through other people and myself, whether I'm a father or a brother or a bus driver or an angry person. I realize that's not the true, as you said, the pool is clear. That's what we are. The mind is joyous and clear, and all the nice things that you said. And the conditioning that we've added to it make it cloudy or rough. So I've somehow, by thinking week after day, hour after hour, and sitting with this practice, it just comes in little pieces, and then you kind of reference those. You remember the feeling, and then try to get it back, or you try not to get it back, and it's going to come back better. But I've been disidentifying with the emotions, I've been disidentifying with the association of what I call the false me. The real me is the essence that I can't quite grasp, but I know everything else is a cover over it. So I just throw the cover off, and it works. I like to work with images, so I just kind of like take off that armor, and let someone else beat up on my ego because it's over there. I'm not ego. The ego is the code I put on myself. So if someone wants to beat on my ego and make me upset or angry for myself, take it off. Let bang it over there, but that's not me. And it just kind of clears. I just can't wait until 10 years from now. It's instantaneous because I have to work at it. But little by little, it's like it may take me an hour to calm down enough to realize I'm working too hard to get the feeling. To get back to myself, to get to the moment, and get off the clarity. And it's nice. But it takes a lot of time. Like the violin, you have to practice it.
Yeah, and it's something very deep actually.
It's deep.
It's deep but simple at the same time.
Point. The simpler you can get,
the
quicker and the deeper it gets. So the simplicity is hard because we've complicated. Even my simple thoughts are complicated by thoughts that I don't even know they're there yet. And so somehow I can just act like a tree. It's almost like being a tree where nothing affects me because I'm not included in time. I'm just being there, accepting all that comes to me. The earth sustains me, it suns, it rains, it snows, it's windy, and it just is. It doesn't worry about the clock, it doesn't worry about eating, it doesn't worry about sleeping. It just absolutely accepts all things, which is beautiful in concept, not a work. It's something very simple.
No, that was well put. Very good.
Yeah. Actually, that means, other words, you are trying to depersonalize, right?
Not identify.
Not identify.
My problem is I don't know what I am. I know what I'm not. I'm not Matthew. I'm not human. I'm not a bus driver. I'm not a father. Those are roles I take on as I need them. I get off the bus. I'm not a bus driver. The kids aren't with me. I'm not the father right now. I'm trying to find out what's left. What am I really? And I have no description, no words, no images, no feelings to tell me that. So I'm floundering looking for that. And when I'm floundering looking for it, it's the door. I don't know how to sit in that kind of quiet to let it come to me. Because when I sit in quiet to let it come to me, I'm still trying to pull it up. I'm still trying to do the work. It's got to be something I can't do. Continuously.
Isn't that how the Buddha described it? One is not, now one what is.
Yes.
So I am not this body. So I am not this feeling.
Right. The concept has come to me, and I can actually use it. And for real, I really get that feeling. But a lot of times, as soon as it comes, I want to grab it and make it squirt away. So I don't have enough practice, experience, and how to sit in it. It's good. It's a nice feeling. It's good.
Yeah. From the time that we can remember, we used to consider this body as myself, and all the things, this me, myself, mine, and in that way. So Yes, if we try to look at ourselves like outsider, then we would be able to see actually not only ourselves but everyone else also like equal also. And in this group, in this whole society, this body and this mind is also just one person. As he said, maybe it may be a bus driver, it may be in some cases a father or a child or a wife. In many ways in the society, working a person. And so you are trying to take the label out of it. It's me, it's mine, in that way. As he said, it's something deep, and at the same time, it's very simple thing. But we have to practice it little by little. That's why we have to go in a gradual way. So even before that, that's very good if you can practice. That directly goes to the point, main point, not here and there, direct point to the problem. And to support it, you can watch your thoughts. Suppose I have kind of irritation. I feel uncomfortable for some reason by someone's word or some kind of sound or anything. Usually what we do is we are going to respond or react to that sound or that person outside. Instead of it, if we can watch ourselves, our own mind, how my mind is now as a react or response of that sound, of that word, or of that feeling, then you can really see your thoughts. It may be about to start making yourself angry. Then you can see now it's going to be angry. Since you can see that anger is under your control, that emotion, any type of emotion, is under your control. That thought is under your control. So you have enough control to see that, to watch it, realize it, and let it go. Just by letting go one thought, you cannot be at peace. Oh, now I am good. It's like many waves. Another one would come. So you have to keep on. That's what's called Chittanupassana, right? Chittanupassana. Watching your thoughts. That's also a kind of meditation. So you have more than enough things to do with your own mind in that way. So that's what's called, in another way, trying to practice mindfulness. You are trying to be aware of your own thoughts. That's mindfulness. Mindfulness on your own thoughts. So you can distinguish what type of thoughts I have. Yes, of course, good thoughts, bad thoughts, neutral thoughts, in that way. So at least at the beginning, you would be able to reduce the bad thoughts and generate more good thoughts, wholesome thoughts. And when you are generating wholesome thoughts again and again, and reducing unwholesome or disturbing thoughts, emotions, your mind is going to be more calm, more serene, and more peaceful. Then that peace itself can be seen, can be watched. Then that experience itself would encourage you to practice more and more deeper into the Dhamma. So first you would be able to watch only the strong type of emotions, maybe desire for some type of tasty food, or maybe anger, or maybe irritation. That type of very strong and very rough emotions or thoughts can be easily watched. When you are practicing, keep on practice, then you could even notice very subtle thoughts, or when they are about to generate in your mind. So your emotions or thoughts are under your control. That's the best way. But since we have thoughts all the time in our mind, we cannot, at the beginning, especially in the society, in general society, we cannot keep on paying attention to all those thoughts at all the time. It's not practicable for a general person in the society. But we can separate some time for that purpose, maybe early in the morning and evening, for a certain period of time for practicing meditation. And also you can use a short period of time at your home, maybe with while you are sweeping the floor, or washing dishes or clothes, or combing your hair, or when you are having a shower. You can try to keep on watching your thoughts and paying attention to your physical actions too. Then you are practicing awareness or mindfulness on your body and your thoughts. Then you could develop your mindfulness also to a higher level, and it would give you and save a lot of energy that you would waste otherwise, and you would feel physically and mentally more stronger and more happier than before. In that way, we can we shouldn't suppress our emotions, but we should watch and realize. Then they are under our control without suppressing. that suppression would come in a different way as a physical difficulty or sickness, so in those ways. So even in another way, mental problem or something. Or we would express it in a even in a more dangerous way. Sometimes maybe by shouting at some other or in many other ways. So better to watch them, realize them, letting them go, then your mind gets more calm and peaceful.
And letting them go sometimes takes minutes,
Yes.
an hour.
Mm-hmm.
This morning, someone did me a favor, did it wrong, and I wanted to call up and say, I didn't really do it the way I wanted to be done. And it's okay, let me watch this. Why do I want to say something? Because I feel it wasn't done my way. So right action was not to make the phone call. Right speech was not to say anything. Right silence it and realize it was the false me, the negativity that could have built up in my body by starting a conversation that didn't need to be started, to make someone feel bad because they did something to me, only they didn't do it the right way, even though they tried. So if their intentions were correct, so why do I want to take away their good intentions, put negativity in their life, put negativity in my life because I put negativity in their life, and now all that negativity, I watched it, and I knew it from my practice. Don't say anything, watch it, right action, right speech, let it go. That negative energy went to the false person. I put it on the coat, on the floor. True me was there to accept it, and now the positive energy is still available to come, but that didn't build that negative energy. And it's a small thing. Once, 2, 3, 5, 6 times a day. It just builds a nice character. And then it does bring the Dhamma to life because you see it work. And you want more.
Yeah. And also sometimes when we are going to get that type of emotions, it comes to be a habit also, especially the negative side. Suppose yesterday or last week, if you felt uncomfortable or angry when you are entering into the office, it would be a habit for many more times in the future. And so we have to be aware of all those places, occasions and times that we generate unwholesome thoughts or uncomfortable feelings. It may be in a strong way, it may be not that many occasions, that many times. So be aware and pre-plan how to face to that situation. You could, instead of feeling the same type of thoughts entering into the office, you could change by yourself, having your own plan for yourself, opposite side of feelings, pervading maybe loving kindness towards yourself and for the others who make kind of influence on you before you start the day, so that your mind is prepared to face to that situation, so you could handle it easier and better. So within yourself, you are ready. So outsider cannot control you that easy because you are stronger. So in that way, you can prepare yourself by contemplating about the whole day programs, whole day activities that you have to face and situations. by preparing. And at the end of the day, by taking some time for yourself, you can wash out all those negative emotions out of your mind. Forget, more than forgetting, forgive the ones who have done anything wrong to you during that day. Do not keep it in your mind. It would be generating unwholesome thoughts in your mind throughout whole the night sometimes. And you might feel some cases like guilty for some reason for some persons. So in your mind you can say sorry for them. So you wouldn't have to keep on that guilty feeling whole night. So you can go to sleep with like a fresh person. Then you can wake up like a fresh person and start the day by pervading positive thoughts, loving kindness thoughts throughout the ones, starting pervading to yourself, throughout the ones with whom you are going to work on that day. That's why once Dalai Lama has said, I start the day by pervading loving kindness throughout all the mankind. So in the morning, I wouldn't see any stranger, but my friends, because loving kindness means friendliness. So you would have a nice feeling and peace of mind, and without that much of negative thoughts. So your mind also more peaceful and your thoughts or emotions are under your control. And that's why the Dhamma is something to be practiced. And this just by discussing like this, yes, for the knowledge it's good, but we have to practice and test it through yourself. Yourself is the laboratory for your experiments. And if there is anything strange or that cannot understand, again you have to refer the Dhamma. And you might be doing something wrong, so you can correct it and try again. So in that way, you have to practice the Dhamma too. All these problems, all these challenges are opportunities for you to practice the Dhamma. Anything else? Any other question?
Are the deities a different thing? They're not human?
No, deities are not the humans. In the Dhamma, there are 6 kind of divine world systems. right? According to the karmas, previous karmas they had done, they would be experiencing there are higher and lower type of divine worlds. All those divine worlds are actually with the lifespan and other comfort and beauty. Although with all those things, they are higher than human level, even the lowest one. That would depend upon the karmas they have done. That's why those deities would look like only just like light. That's why all the time it explains illuminating whole the temple, whole the Jeta's Grove or any other place where the Buddha was living. That deity approached the Buddha. They would look like just like a light, because they have physical body, but it's so subtle. So that's why it's so subtle that naked eye cannot see them. If there is a deity, we would see through, and we would see the wall or other thing, not that deity. And the ones who developed that, which is called divine eye, Dibba Chakku, they can see. The enlightened monks or the Buddha, or even non-enlightened, but those who have developed their mind to a certain level called ecstasies, they can see, they can develop that divine eye and they can see. And there is another thing that one can develop through meditation called divine ear. By developing that divine ear, one could even hear the sound of deities. And those who have that ability, they would be able to even communicate with the divine beings. I mean, direct communication. That's why those deities could come and see the Buddha, and Buddha could see them and hear them and answer their questions and the like.
Do they have great intelligence in human beings?
It looks so, because first Dhamma discourse, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, delivered by the Buddha. By listening to that sutta, only one human being attained the spirituality, the lowest spiritual degree called Sotapanna or extreme inner state. Only one human being, Venerable Kondanya. But it says thousands of deities attained enlightenment or those degrees, Sotapanna state. That means they are more intelligent than human beings. But the human beings have the ability. The word for the human being in Pali, manussa. Manussa, it explains manassa ussannataya manusso. The one who has a mind which can be developed. So that human mind can be developed to the highest level. The highest level that human mind can be developed is called the Buddhahood. So that cannot be developed to that level by any divine being but a human being only. Other than that, they looks like very, very.
For the human, there's only 5 of them. There was thousands of devils. So the equation was doesn't add up.
Yeah. Yeah, that also maybe.
For each human, you have like 1,000 devils. We recorded this.
Yeah, and also another way, that also means something. I mean, only 5 human beings were ready and intelligent enough even to listen to the Buddha, right, at the moment. And they were the ones who were waiting until the Buddha get enlightened. No one else. So that means others are not that intelligent at the moment.
The spirits, they have the advantage, so they see the Buddha practicing, and they know that he's already.
That also because they are intelligent.
Well, no, because human beings have
no access, right?
no access to that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. Anyway, if all the if thousands of human beings have gathered around the Bodhisattva, the Buddha to be, and kept on waiting till he get enlightened, it wouldn't be even that easy to get enlightened because of their because it's not going to be any more peaceful and calm forest. It's going to be a city. Yeah. So it's better happened in that way anyway.
Won't be able to do. He wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. If so, he wouldn't. It would be even easier to attain the enlightenment in his palace rather than in the forest. Yeah. And also, the divine beings are the ones who had practiced as human beings, who were very intelligent ones as human beings to practice the Dhamma, and who developed their mind to the level of ecstasy, samadhi state. So, as human beings, they were very intelligent. Because of that karma itself, even as divine beings, they would be intelligent person.
There's the intelligent and the smart, which is intelligent enough to practice the Dhamma.
Yeah.
I'm not super intelligent, but I practice the Dhamma. Do I have an edge?
Yeah, like Sariputta.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have it, like people like Sariputta. Or through the most famous pastor of Sariputta.
Venerable Moggallana, Venerable Sariputta, and other monk.
He's the pastor, the one that learned.
Yeah, and actually he did not get ordained.
No.
Yeah. There was another person who just followed the Buddha when he was walking on the path. He was an ascetic. Another type of belief he had, and he asked from the Buddha for preaching the Dhamma. Then the Buddha said, the Buddha was going for Pindapata or alms round, for collecting food from home to home. The Buddha said, this is not the proper time, because I am on my way to collect food. Then he said, yes, but if I miss this opportunity, I wouldn't have chance to realize, to listen to Dhamma. So please, even in short, preach the Dhamma, tell me the Dhamma. Then Buddha, in a very short, in a nutshell, gave kind of advice. He very fast realized the Dhamma and attained enlightenment. And actually the Buddha did it because the Buddha knew his lifespan is so short. He is almost at the end of his life. So now he is enlightened, but without robe or anything. So he wanted to become a monk, get ordained, asked for that, and Buddha asked him to find robes and the bowl, which is the basic necessity for a monk. He went for that, and meanwhile a certain cow came and what do you call? Yeah, struck him and killed. Then it was reported to the Buddha by the other monks that the ascetic with whom the Buddha was talking got killed by a cow. Then the Buddha said, he is not just a mere ascetic, but an enlightened person. He got enlightened without making that many questions and asking many questions. He very quickly realized the Dhamma and attained the enlightenment. So the monks cremated the body, giving due respect to as an enlightened person. So yes, that type of person, they are very, how do you call it, smart or
Yeah, that's true.
what's that word?
Super intelligent.
Yes, super intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the word now, but it's very mature in terms of ability to accept the Dhamma.
Yeah.
His faculties are mature now.
Yeah. In yoga systems, they divide people, the actually students, into few groups. The best one is like gunpowder, and the second one is firewood, dry firewood. The third one would be the firewood but wet firewood. Yes. So the gunpowder, very little with the fire, with very short connection would start. I think that ascetic is someone like gunpowder. That also not just related to this very life, that very life, because they had been practicing in their previous lives. Due to that experience, they realized very fast, because they were the ones who were paying attention more towards the Dhamma, more towards the practice, and tried to get kind of experience through oneself. It's not only to do with the Dhamma, but many other things. When you are looking for something, then only you would identify it very fast. You would get it when you see it in anywhere. Even the modern scientists, they have recovered things like the gravity. Was they say, according to this story, he was sitting under a apple tree. yeah, Isaac Newton. So he might have seen falling of many apples before and many things, but since he had been paying attention to understand what this gravity is, it clicked very fast at that moment. The same thing, just by looking at a falling leaf, one would be able to understand the impermanence of everything, just by watching the deforming of a flower. One would be able to realize the impermanence of the body and whole the world. So keeping that attention with the Dhamma through practice and studying would help even in some remote future life to understand, realize the Dhamma very fast. Those were the ones who practiced before, attained Nibbana so fast, even at the time of the Buddha. We have 10 more minutes, if you have anything to talk, because I don't think we have enough time to start a brand new another sutta.
I agree with the English translation of the meditation, conclusion. It just, they were not, and you explained it well, but you just changed the word. Meditation does not mean path in English. But somehow you practice.
Oh, yeah. Emancipation would be the Nibbana, right?
Freedom. Yeah, Lincoln freed the slaves, and that's the proclamation to a free. Seclusion, you can find yourself away.
Yeah. Actually, that's why with most of these key words for the Dhamma can never be translated with one word directly.
Or that experience.
Yeah, because you know the original meaning of these English words, you can see that. Since we have in our mind that original Pali word, we also would mistake this English word. It would be same to this word, but it's so, even with the words like dukkha, some would give the translation as suffering, another one unsatisfactoriness or anything, but many scholars do not agree with any of these one words, but they suggest to use the dukkha, that word itself, with kind of explanation. That difficulty is there when you are studying only with translation. So that's why it's important, though you are reading a translation, to have kind of discussion with a person who can read the original words of the Buddha through Pali language. Sometimes, yes, it can be immensely. So seclusion, yes, seclusion means living by yourself, right? Yeah.
But it's usually the Dhamma is secluding the mind, not just, so you can go outside in the woods and in seclusion, you are in seclusion, but your mind is all filled with evil thoughts. But you're not in seclusion, you are with the evil thoughts. So seclusion means to get rid of bad thoughts.
Oh, yeah. In that way, it's good, but there should be kind of commentary with that word. Yeah.
Because for a regular folk like us, if you come out of the blue, you wouldn't know what that means.
Yeah. That actually, that problem is there even when we are reading, even through the Pali, the original sutras itself. If you are not that versed enough with the Dhamma, there are many places that you wouldn't understand what really it means. There are some sutras, even many other monks lived at the time of the Buddha did not understand it. They used to go to Venerable Sariputta or any other well-versed monk for getting more information, more clear understanding for that. So Venerable Sariputta or any other monk could explain, this is what the Buddha told in short. And he would explain. Then only the other monks would understand. Because actually they used to go to Venerable Sariputta or any other monk. They did not want to make the Buddha tired by asking so many questions and making him speak and talk so long. Some occasions, others would even directly ask the Buddha by saying, Sankittena bhasitassa vittarena attang. In that way, I do not understand the meaning which was in short. Please give a explanation in that way. So yes, that's there even when today we read through these books. Sometimes without commentary, even Pali words we cannot understand. The words would be there, but it's very hard to get what really it means by that word at that place. So because of that, we go through commentary. These commentaries, or some of them may be Buddha's own explanations, some of them may be other enlightened monks' explanations, or at least those are the explanations done by the monks who were very well versed in the Dhamma, and through kind of, at least to a certain level, self-experience with the Dhamma practicing. So we go through those commentaries. Some, even today, some monks would find kind of disagreements with certain points, but generally we can go through those commentaries and get more explanations.
So wasn't the commentaries like a later explanation, like Buddha Goswami?
Not Buddha Goswami's time for sure, because Venerable Buddha Goswami just translated Sinhala commentaries into Pali. So before that there were Sinhala commentaries. The Sinhala commentaries were done through original Pali commentaries.
It goes back to the time of the Buddha.
Probably, yeah. At least sometime before.
Okay.
And in some places, even in the Tripitaka, we can see the signs of characteristics of commentary in the suttas itself. Because Venerable Sariputta would make a commentary for what the Buddha taught in short in some places. So that itself is a commentary. Yeah. There are many stories, like even Jataka stories. We can definitely say it's not the Buddha's own words. It's definitely later developments. Actually, those are very clear. They would support, help us to understand the Dhamma, but we can clearly see that those are later developments when you compare with the Dhamma and the Vinaya. The Buddha has given a method to see if it's Buddha's own words or not. Compare with the Dhamma and Vinaya. Vinaya means the disciplinary rules. Sutta and Vinaya. Yes, Sutta and Vinaya. Then you can decide if it's Buddha's own words or not. So in that way we can identify some type of other later developments too. I think now it's better to stop. So thank you very much for coming in this evening. You gathered to the temple and observed 8 precepts and practiced meditation, and we made a Dhamma discussion. In this way we accumulated a great deal of merits. By the power of all the merits, may all our departed ones rejoice on these merits, and may they attain Nibbana. May all the deities rejoice on these merits and attain Nibbana. May we all our family members, and all the mankind attain the ultimate bliss, ultimate peace of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.